I'm Mark Chatsky. I'm a district manager with Waseca Soil and Water Conservation District. The Waseca SWCD's main mission is to help private landowners improve their farms to reduce pollution of sediment, nitrogen, phosphorus. We do that through several different means, one of which is to fix erosional problems. We also do permanent easements with the Reinvest in Minnesota. So part of our job is to both enroll those lands into that program and also to inspect them over time, that they're still doing well and the landowners upholding, keeping good care of them and that sort of thing.
My name is Myles Elson. I have worked for both sides of the NRCS, the soil survey side, and now as a district conservationist in Waseca County, Minnesota. And as a soil scientist, my job was to create and curate, I like to say, the soil maps that are placed on Web Soil Survey, which is the official government website or website-defined soils information, the most up-to-date soils information. And as a soil conservationist or a district conservationist, I work with farmers to identify resource concerns that they have on their farm, and then help them with technical assistance and at times financial assistance to solve those resource concerns.
Hi, my name is Ciara Ahrens. I am the customer service team lead for the Natural Resource Conservation Service. I work with Myles, who's actually one of my employees. My current job is I actually run 3 different offices. I run the Mankato field office, the Waseca field office, and the Blue Earth field office. My experience with NRCS is a little bit different. I worked in 4 different states for them as a soil conservation technician, which is more of the hands-on surveying side of it. I've been a soil conservationist, which is more of the field work with producers. I ran an office, and now I run 3 offices.
I have a bachelor's degree with a majors in biology and environmental studies and a minor in geography from Gustavus Adolphus College.
My education is from the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, and I studied soil and land management with a minor in GIS.
My education is actually, I got a bachelor's degree of science from the University of Wisconsin River Falls in just basic environmental conservation. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about, what do we do every day? What would your daily life look like? Keep in mind that you don't have to have an agriculture background to have a passion for agriculture. I grew up in the Minneapolis metro area. I have never stepped foot on a farm. I got a degree in environmental conservation. I worked for Fish and Wildlife Service. I did firefighting. I worked with endangered species. I traveled all over. Later on in my career, I learned that my passion was more on the soil side and the environmental water quality side. I love knowing where my food came from, and I love working with great producers, and so agriculture kind of chose me. I'd say about 50% of I am a hiring manager, and about 50% of the folks that I hire have zero agriculture background at all, but they have the passion to be there. The field work is going to be meeting with producers, talking about their ground, looking at resource concerns. Sometimes your hands are going to look like this, and sometimes they're going to be nice and clean. The other time in the office, we do get to do a lot of work with GIS, a lot of map making, a lot of, creating plans, engineer plans, seeding mixes, and really implementing that producer's dream and making it a reality. And then there's also the financial side of things.
And as a soil conservationist as well, your day-to-day job is very different. It's not a singular focus, so it's very broad in the range of things and people that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. On my soil survey side, when I was a soil scientist, the day-to-day there, if you are creating soil maps, you're out on a 4-wheeler or with a backpack hiking with shovel in one hand and a computer or GPS system in the other hand, and you're digging holes throughout the day. And then during the winter time frames, you're inside working with GIS and spatial analysis to then create those soil maps. Through the curating of the soil maps, where you're updating the soil maps, a lot of it is statistics and heavy with GIS and spatial analysis. So having an interest in statistics and spatial analysis with soil survey moving forward is going to be something that you need to have interest in.
So again, with the SWCD, most SWCD offices are maybe 2 to 6 people. So diversity is something to expect. You're doing a number of different tasks, a number of different jobs. It could be, technicians are going to spend more time out in the field than a manager. You could be doing anything from surveying, GPSing a field, to inspecting a conservation easement, to working on some sort of report or outreach activities. So a fair amount of diversity. Things that I would look for somebody entering this field, of course, would be some sort of conservation degree, natural resources, environmental studies, biology, something that's related to conservation. Certainly don't have to have a farm background, but a farm background is good to be able to understand the customers that we serve. I also look for experience in the conservation field. So I know when I got out of college, I did not get a full-time job right away, but I made sure that the jobs I took were in the conservation field. They were not the best paying, but it was a step to the job that I wanted. It got me the experience. It got me the relationships with people in that field that helped me in the future.
One other thing that I like to bring up when I talk about my career is how I got my foot in the door. The best way that I've seen and personally experienced to get my foot in the door with the Natural Resources Conservation Service was to work as an Earth Team volunteer. As a volunteer, I spent several hundred hours working with a district conservationist for free. I did this while I was in college, on my days that I had off or my mornings that I had off, and I would help them do projects that office had. And as an Earth Team volunteer, I gained the experience and I gained that network that then when I was graduating school, I had that network and that experience to then apply for the jobs that I wanted.
I had a similar experience in Montana. I was working for Glacier National Park as a fire monitor, nothing to do with agriculture. And I had every other Friday off, and every other Friday I went into an NRCS office and I would help them implement conservation plans.
We've had some experience in our SWC office through the AmeriCorps program. We would have an internship program. This happened to be a stipend internship where we'd have somebody going to college or recently graduated in the conservation field into our office for about 3 months. Doing some of the work that we would do, and so it's from my perspective, a great opportunity to both get experience and for the person see if this is the job I want to do. You're kind of immersed in it. You're immersed in the other employees, so you can kind of both get experience and kind of see if that's the career path you want to do.
One other aspect is not only the Earth Team, but we actually have paid internships through the federal government called the Pathways. Ultimately, you need to apply on USA Jobs. Please contact a university or one of our offices individually when applying the first time in USA Jobs. It is a completely different process. But the Pathways basically is that you work for 2 summers, generally in 2 different locations. It is paid. It can count for an internship for school. After your Pathways program, you are 99% offered a full-time position.